Welcome, heroes! How can I help ya? Sheep? Oh, well, I don't see those very often. I'm not even sure if I remember how they look. They told me once about those puffy creatures, but I never... No matter. What would even a sheep do here? Okay, jeez. The truth is that the one you're looking for is here, in the forest. Hello, dear leaves. You were so glitchy for a few minutes, I was worried you got stuck in a different dimension or something. Never mind. Since you missed the intro, let me catch you up. This is Incinda, the digital playwright. Sheepy android who loves to invite people for game nights. Say hello!
Oh, yes, them. The cultists. Well, nothing a few dice rolls and a few uses of my spell slots can't fix. Anyway, I believe introductions are in order. Hello everyone, I'm Incinda, your digital playwright and sleepy VTuber, here to talk to Baroque about some TTRPGs or tabletop role-playing games.
So, TTRPGs, huh? I'm not going to lie, I invited you here because all I know is D&D and it's not really enough for a video like this, so I needed an expert GM who played many more titles. What system have you tried out already?
Ah yes, D&D from Wizards of the Coast. It's probably the most mainstream tabletop role-playing game option out there, but there are also good alternatives and good fantasy alternatives, like Paizo has Pathfinder, which uses a similar system that D&D uses. They also have a sci-fi alternative in Starfinder. There's also the sci-fi TTRPG from Masiff Press called Lancer, where you play as an elite mecha pilot, embarking on missions across the galaxy. If you want to go a bit more down to earth and try and make a night city legend of yourself in the dark dystopian future run by corporations, there's Cyberpunk Red and Cyberpunk 2020 from R.Talsorian games. They also have a Witcher TTRPG based on the book series and games. There is Free League, which has a number of games that use their Year Zero engine from their Mutant Apocalypse game called Mutant Year Zero. They also publish TTRPGs for a bunch of games around movies, like there is the Aliens TTRPG and there is the Blade Runner TTRPG. There's also Warewolf, which has a number of dark social TTRPGs where you can play as like a vampire in Vampire the Mascaade, or a werewolf in Werewolf the Apocalypse, or a mage in Mage the Ascension, or a variety of fantasy and fae creatures in Changeling the Dreaming. Many different tabletop role-playing game options out there. You just have to go and like find what kind of system or what kind of world you're wanting to play in, and just browse certain websites or look online for them, or visit your local store and ask around.
Do you have any favorite ones?
I wouldn't say I had a favorite game or system to run per se. There's definitely worlds I gravitate towards. So if I'm wanting to play something in like the darkness of space with giant robots and a lot of combat, I would gravitate towards Lancer. If I wanted to go for like a world I'm very interested in, which is like the Cyberpunk world, so like Night City, I would play Cyberpunk Red and Cyberpunk 2020. If I wanted to go more towards like dark fantasy or something with a lot of social aspects and social play that I don't have to make a lot of battle maps for, I would gravitate towards the White Wolf games, so like Vampire the Mascaade. You don't have to put a lot of work into like the maps and such. It's all very much theatre of the mind and social play. But if I wanted to play something that maybe is new, I like to experiment a lot, so I search for a lot of new RPGs and test play those RPGs with my players to see whether or not that's something they would be interested in playing in the future, or if that is something I can show on stage of the sorts. So I'm very much a case of I have a flavor of the month, and then I gravitate towards new TTRPGs, and I'm constantly searching for new outlooks and new aspects to basically display, play, and show.
That must be quite a lot of books, huh? Were those easy to find? Or did you need to ask old pal internet for help?
Yes, I definitely do a lot of my TTRPG research and game finding online. There are a bunch of different websites you can go for, finding out about like what TTRPGs might be interesting to play. So like I browse a lot of YouTube, I browse a lot of like Kickstarter for any new TTRPGs I want to like interest and invest in. But a lot of it is definitely playing on word of mouth or picking something from the cover that might look interesting in playing and giving it a few like reads. And if I really like it, I will search more and buy the PDFs.
Would you say that one needs books and other materials to run a game? Are there any easier, cheaper ways of getting some of that stuff?
Yes, well, how much you're willing to spend will definitely be a case of how much you're willing to invest in your presentation and your knowledge of the systems. So obviously, as a GM, you will need the core book, and if you are wanting to play, you would probably need like the player's manual, which some TTRPGs do provide their player's manuals for free. It's just a case of searching online and finding them. As for you having the books that you need to learn, there's a lot of expansion books if you want to expand your knowledge and like expand the different worlds. So having those is nice. You can always try and search for them online, but it is always more ethical to have the books purchased for convenience, for accurate information, because what is written on a Wikipedia page is not always the most accurate. And then once you have all of that, depending on how you're wanting to play, you're obviously going to be spending for materials if you're wanting to play in person, so paper, pens, dice, a board screen, and all of the such, as well as if you're playing in person, food. Then if you're playing online, you have to consider what digital table you're wanting to play on. So there are a lot of different tables out there. So there's obviously the most popular or most well-known, which is Roll20, which is, while you can play on it for free, the learning curve will be a bit higher, and a lot of the hard work you'll have to invest in it is there. There's also one-time buy tables like Foundry VTT, which has a high learning curve, but also has a lot of support and a lot of onboarding for you to have a lot of support with playing your games as well for your players as well. There's also systems that are similar to Roll20 like Fantasy Grounds, Owlbear, the sort. Most people might already have one of the tables that they can play on if they have a game on Steam called Tabletop Simulator that supports a lot of TTRPGs. If you want to figure out how to create your own table, or you look on the workshop for like tables that have already been made by people for TTRPGs, that's something you have that you've already paid for. But if not, you are going to need to invest in some way, shape, or form. It's just the case of that's how you support the publishers, that's how you support the ecosystem. And yeah.
Is there any specific system that is newbie friendly? Not only in terms of complexity, but also things you need for playing?
In terms of simple to play or complexity and clarity with games, it's definitely a lot of, you have to look deep into the TTRPG scene, because there are a lot of TTRPGs that are built to be super simple to play and super easy. A lot of people might gravitate towards Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, as thinking them as easy alternatives to learn and play, which isn't really the case. There is a lot of difficulty and complexity in those games, as well as a case of a lot of stuff you've got to like compile and remember. And then there are TTRPGs that are like, this is the rolling system, you may only need to roll a single dice to learn how to do things, and it's a lot of like negotiating with your DM, or a lot of the social aspects of tabletop role-playing games that you can rely on more. So it's very much a case of, I wouldn't say it's more about complexity and clarity in the TTRPGs or finding the easiest system to learn and run. It's more of finding the best worlds that your players want to create characters and learn the system and play themselves, rather than, hey, this super simple system is easy to learn in these 5 steps. You'll have a lot of fun and a lot of investment in playing the games you are most interested in, regardless of how complex they are, because if they are super complex, you as a GM or a dungeon master can always simplify them yourself.
Thank you so much for this conversation. world of TTRPGs is too big to fit in one video, but I hope this introduction of sorts will be helpful to some viewers. Would you like to add anything else?
Yes, a lot of people will say that there are a lot of hurdles to tabletop role-playing games, such as the resources and also the scheduling of time. A lot of those hurdles are just merely mental constructs. If you really want to play a game or really want to run TTRPGs, there are a lot of different places out there. There are many different websites and Discord servers that cover tabletop role-playing games, and also will provide GMs who are looking for players and players who are looking for GMs. So if you go out there and you want to find and want to play a tabletop role-playing game, they are out there. You don't have to worry about time zones and the such, especially for playing online, which has become more popular than playing in person. A lot of different aspects and ways of getting into tabletop role-playing games, or you can live vicariously through other players in watching YouTube Let's Plays and the sort.
Please tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes, both my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Sky are under the name Incinda. If you are interested in tabletop role-playing games and watching Let's Plays of those said games, and also going and learning new systems, my channels are the place to go to.
Thank you once again. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. There is clearly a lot of fun TTRPGs, and I hope viewers who are interested in playing will find something for themselves.
And thank you for inviting me to your neck of the woods. My van is always open for you if you ever want to jump in and learn tabletop role-playing games, Baruch.
Thank you all for watching this video. As usual, you can find all the links in the video description. Just as Incida said, finding the right system is important for squeezing the most fun out of this hobby. Now go, craft some adventures and tragic backstories. Have fun! Hope you'll have a lovely weekend. Bye bye!